This is another edition of T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This week, a special report that focuses on the activities and achievements of the T.H.E.M.E S Agenda of Lagos State Governor. Good and well-structured educational system is one of the vital factors in the socio-economic development of any nation. Education is regarded as a critical instrument in the battle against poverty and ignorance. It empowers the individual with necessary knowledge and skill sets to actualize potential and maximize opportunities in life. It is for this reason that governments across the world devote a good chunk of available resources to the development of the educational sector. Lagos, under the present administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is not excluded. In today's special report on T.H.E.M.E S Agenda This week, Bola Adebayo of our News and Current Affairs Department examines the letter E, which stands for education, in the T.H.E.M.E S Agenda and progress made in line with vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. Education is described as the bedrock of any society. Lagos, a subnational, has proven its mettle in this wise. Upon assumption in office, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu highlighted a 6-point agenda plan with the acronym T.H.E.M.E.S, in which the first letter E stands for education. Making education a priority, the governor increased the budgetary allocations for the sector in the year 2020 budget to 48 billion naira, an increase of 60% over the 2019 budget of 30 billion naira, as well as the recently presented 2021 appropriation bill before the Lagos State House of Assembly with a budgetary allocation of 143,655,593,855.89 naira earmarked for education, an increase of over 120%. Governor Sanwo-Olu hit the ground running with the Education and Technology Trust to become model of excellence in the development of education in Africa by making high-quality education accessible to all learners through effective and efficient management of resources for the attainment of self-reliance and socio-economic development. Matching words with action, the current administration also declared zero tolerance on the poor state of public infrastructure in public schools and directed that all defective structures in schools be replaced with new classroom blocks. To this end, Governor Sanwo-Olu inaugurated a special committee for rehabilitation of public schools in the state, headed by Mr. T.H.E.M.E.S. Subsequently, the governor approved the construction of new blocks of classroom, hostels, and watchtowers in 29 Lagos public schools in primary and secondary levels spread across the 5 divisions of the state. This further validates the governor's position that his administration is passionate about learning, school transformation, and capacity building for teachers, driven with the new trend towards engendering quality education that will be at par with the 21st century standard of learning.
Within our public system, we are hiring new teachers, we have boosted the capacity of existing ones, and we're implementing a school rehabilitation program that started with the fixing of infrastructure in about 300 public schools and with the provisions that have been made for all of this in our 2020 budget.
The state was not spared from the challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic, which kept students at home for about 6 months. But the challenges were turned into strength by the state government by embracing cutting-edge technology to revolutionize the education sector, which renewed vigor for training and retraining. Through the State Ministry of Education, teachers were kept abreast of new development through online programs before the resumption of academic activities after the pandemic lockdown. Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, who is the Commissioner for Education, noted that over 4,000 teachers were hooked up to the platform for the training, promising that the present administration will continue to improve the training of teachers in line with the goal of providing the best education for school children in Lagos State.
We are responsible for the quality of education delivery in the state. And so our focus really is on how we can ensure that every child in Lagos gets a good education, because every child deserves to get a good education regardless of socio-economic status, regardless of gender, regardless of where they live, what their religion is or anything. Every child just deserves to get the best possible education. Education technology just permeates virtually everything we do. It's becoming ubiquitous, and therefore we cannot bring up children who are not tech savvy, because that's going to be the reality of their lives. And to teach children to be tech savvy, their teachers need to be tech savvy. And so I think it's very critical for us, especially when we're talking about smart city. That means that many things are going to be technology based, and therefore we want our students and our teachers, our pupils, and everybody to be able to function effectively in this new environment.
The Lagos State government also designed interactive radio instruction programs for pupils in primary 1 and 2 called Kokoka and Labegi Orombo, aired from Monday to Thursday between 9:30 a.m. and 11:55 a.m. on 2 state radio stations, namely Eko FM 89.7 and Radio Lagos 107.5 FM, to keep the pupils academically stable during the pandemic lockdown. Secondary school pupils in GSS2 and SS2 also received Android phones to be able to take part in online teachings. Realizing a sustainable approach to the safe reopening of public and private schools below tertiary level, the Education Quality Assurance Lagos State Ministry of Education organized a 2-day training for school leaders and educators. Director General of Education Quality Assurance, Abiola Seriki Ayeni, said the training was to encourage the leaders to have comprehensive operational, learning, quality health and safety, as well as data and communication plans that will suffice for the safe reopening of schools in Lagos, while it intensified monitoring to ensure schools adhere strictly to the COVID-19 safety protocols.
We've created an instrument where we can now evaluate the effectiveness of online learning. So we had certain set of instruments that we're using before that centered on schools. But when COVID-19 happened, we realized that we need to be able to evaluate schools on a different way. What we have is a tool that takes into account behaviors of the students and the teachers, takes into account how attentive students are, takes into account how the teachers are engaging, and then obviously the content as well.
Lagos State government also reassured of its commitment to contain the spread of coronavirus, even as major activities resume in the state. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Abosede Adelaja, assured that the government would do its best in balancing school calendar, noting that the lost period could not be regained totally.
The school has been used as the isolation center. All those that are inside were being given attention, and people are not allowed to come in. The students that are at home made use of the online channels to learn, while those in the school with the staff remained, and government has given them attention. The test has been done, and the treatment is ongoing.
As part of efforts to achieve the T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda on Education and Technology, the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB, put in place modern technologies to improve the capacity of teachers to be more globally competitive. It also put in place teaching programs to greatly support learning through online and electronic media, both television and radio, during the lockdown. Its board introduced innovative ideas that enhance the educational sector with the aim of making school pupils in the state stand out and also be confident in any competitions under the watch of its chairman, Wahab Alawiye King. LASUBEB has trained over 2,000 teachers, while over 12,000 others benefited from a virtual training by Microsoft for public primary school teachers. It also collaborated with other agencies to achieve quality education in the state.
The pillar that is relevant to our agency is the number 3 pillar, which is the education and technology. And this administration is very much passionate and determined in 3 or 4 major areas. And that has to do with teachers' improvement in terms of capacity building and manpower development, teachers' welfare in terms of their well-being, improvement in their well-being and their welfare. Another important aspect is the infusion of technology into our classroom. Start making our teachers to be globally competitive, using the modern techniques in teaching and learning. Another important aspect is the infrastructural renewal of all our premises to teach and to learn in an environment that is conducive, improve the quality and standard of education in the state. Government is very much determined and passionate at realizing these set goals and agenda.
Though tertiary institutions in the state were not left out, as the state government ensured that the undergraduates learn in a conducive environment, Government to this end provided funds and embarked on infrastructural renewal programs. The present administration also approved the appointment of chairmen and governing council members of the state-owned 4 tertiary institutions: Lagos State University, LASU, Ojo, Adeniro Ogusaya College of Education, Lagos State Polytechnic, and Michael Otedola College of Primary Education. For instance, the state-owned university LASU recently ranked high among universities in the country. The Lagos State University emerged second highest of the 6 Nigerian universities ranked in the T.H.E.M.E.S Higher Education World University Ranking for 2020. The latest ranking has emanated from consistency in the institution's entrenchment of academic excellence, culture of cutting-edge research, and enhanced community service. Furthermore, as part of plans to train 1 million Lagos residents to code by 2020, the present administration, through the Office of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Education, introduced #CodeLagos, the largest #EduTech initiative in Africa. As a melting point with a population in excess of 24 million, provision of qualitative education in Lagos State has been a daunting task. Some residents react to the ongoing activities and initiatives put in place by the present administration in the education sector in Lagos.
The Lagos State government has really done well concerning the education sector for Lagos, giving out phones to secondary school pupils to study and to have online classes. It's actually the best thing to do because teachers were able to reach the students and then rub minds together, and I will comment that is the best thing. So we just look forward to see him doing it on time. We love this, we love it. Kudos to him.
I'd like to commend our Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu that he actually tried a lot. He did a very good job, most especially during the COVID-19 period. He did a lot. Even my siblings who was also a participant of the online class that they held, actually helped a lot. And I also commend them to try more to attend to our students, most especially those in government schools.
My view concerning education sector in Lagos State, there are improvements being made in terms of infrastructure and materials for education. Government too is trying as much as possible to ensure that education is taking another shape with the use of technology. In the pandemic season, Lagos State made availability of online classes for the students, whereby you can access the internet to take some lessons that they are trying, but they should do more. We want to implore them to make provisions for all classes, both primary, secondary, for them to have a good facilities that helps them to get good quality education.
In terms of the infrastructure in Lagos State concerning the school, they are trying. They are really building more schools. They are renovating more schools, but they still need to do more.
With over 1,000 primary schools spread across the 6 educational districts of the state, over 600 public secondary schools and 4 tertiary institutions, there is no doubt that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration is laying a solid foundation for Lagosians by not only developing Lagos State infrastructural-wise, but also focusing and investing heavily in education, which is the key to the future. On this note, we come to the end of today's special report on T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda This Week, with focus on education and progress of the sector in line with vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. For feedback, you can follow us on all our social media platforms: Twitter at Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe to our channel Traffic Radio 961. This program is a production of Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am Abiola Fagbolago.